it's Wrestlemania season, so I've decided to make a few videos about Wrestlemania. And the first video I'm going to make is a review of this DVD, Wrestlemania 8. Now, a couple years ago, I don't know if Walmart's still going to do this, but they were selling the WrestleManias in single DVDs. I know you could go to WWE shop and buy the whole box set of the DVDs of WrestleMania. And if you have the WWE Network, I mean, you pretty much, you don't need this. But at the time, I bought a few of the ones Walmart was selling, and I bought WrestleMania 8. It took place April 5th, 1992, at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've always considered this WrestleMania the last of the Hulkamania era. And I know Hulk Hogan came back for WrestleMania 9, but things were a little bit different because this is pretty much the last WrestleMania for a lot of guys like the Ultimate Warrior. Pretty much Macho Man's last big run with the company, even though, I mean, he was commentating in WrestleMania 9, and then he had his last match in 94 at WrestleMania 10 with Crush. But that was pretty much his last big, push with the company. So I really consider this to be kind of like the last WrestleMania of the Hulkamania era. 1992, because in 93 WWE was going through a transition. They were they're trying to focus more on the smaller guys like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, the younger talent, and guys like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior were kind of pushed to the side slowly. So as you can see here, it's a very weird cover. They have Shawn Michaels on the cover here in the foreground here. We have Hulk Hogan, Sid Vicious. We have Macho Man and Ric Flair. This is the front. Side, we got Shawn Michaels on the side, and the back cover. This is a very straightforward DVD, no bonus features or anything. Even look at this disc. It's just a plain disc in here. It's nothing special. But I always remember. I mean, this is really the first WrestleMania that when I became a fan of wrestling in about late '91. So I kind of missed WrestleMania 7. So this was pretty much my first WrestleMania that I ever really saw. And I just remember the build up to this. This was very controversial, this WrestleMania, because everybody thought that it was going to be Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. I think that was the plan. For some reason, Vince McMahon, and this is the biggest mystery in wrestling, decided to go in a different direction. There's a lot of speculation on why that might have happened. I think that, in a traditional way, Hulk Hogan would have came back and he would have been Ric Flair and he would have began his, fifth time as WWE champion. I think that maybe Vince McMahon saw something in '92 and he realized that the company was going to be going in a different direction, and he couldn't rely on Hulk Hogan as the top guy anymore. And I feel like Hulk Hogan knew that Vince McMahon was going to take the company in a different direction with the younger guys, and Hogan didn't want anything to do with it and decided to leave and decided to... so they did that kind of like that retirement angle, if you remember, and had him wrestle with Sid Vicious or Sid Justice and his supposed to be retirement match. But let's go through the card. So I got the card up here. Let's see. So we got Shawn Michaels. Now I always thought that the original plans for this was to have Shawn Michaels versus Mario Jannetty, but I guess something happened with Mario Jannetty. Maybe I don't know, but they decided to go with Shawn Michaels against El Matador Tino Santana. So that was pretty much Shawn Michaels' first WrestleMania as a solo heel. Then we had The Undertaker defeating Jake Roberts, and it would be Jake Roberts' last match with WWE for quite some time. And it was the first WrestleMania with Undertaker as a face. Then we have Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. I just remember that was a really good match. Then we have a 6-man tag team. We have the Big Boss Man, 8-man tag team. Big Boss Man, Virgil, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jim Duggan versus the Nasty Boys, Reaper Man, and the Mountie. And now, this is pretty much the last WrestleMania for a lot of those guys. So Big Boss Man, this was his last WrestleMania. He would continue with WWE for the rest of the year, but 93's Royal Rumble was his official last pay-per-view with the company, and then he would go to WCW. Virgil, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jim Duggan, they were pretty much done after '92. I mean, I think Duggan did something with Yokozuna, and then I think he got crushed by Yokozuna, and that was pretty much it. The Nasty Boys were done after this. They went to WCW. Reaper Man and the Mountie, they were pretty much done. Then you had Randy Savage defeating Ric Flair for the WWE title, and that wasn't even the main event. That was actually match number 5. So that was in the middle of the card, so the heavyweight title match wasn't even the main event. I just remember that was a really good match, and it gave Randy Savage his second title reign. Then we have Tatanka defeating Rick Martel. At the time, they were building Tatanka up, and he had that undefeated streak, I believe. Tag team title matches, the Natural Disasters defeated Money Incorporated. And then we have Owen Hart versus Skinner. I guess that was kind of like a, I don't know, I don't even remember that match, actually. And then you had the main event with Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. And Ultimate Warrior returned at the end to help Hulk Hogan fight off Sid Justice and Papa Shango. I remember as a kid watching this, and the music of the Ultimate Warrior kicked in, and I was like, oh my god. Because at the time, no internet, there was nothing. You don't know the behind the scenes of wrestling. So as a kid, I would always watch each weekend, saying, oh, this will be the day that the Ultimate Warrior returns. And I didn't know that he was fired and over contract disputes, and he held McMahon up at SummerSlam '91. I didn't know that. I was 10 years old, but I just remember being so happy that the Ultimate Warrior came back. But again, this was pretty much the last of the WrestleMania, the last of Hulk Hogan era, and then it's worth checking out. I mean, I don't know if you can find this DVD, but you can definitely watch it on the WWE Network. You could get all the WrestleManias and rewatch them. But this is a pretty good one to check out.